Yo, yo. I'm like, hey, this shit kind of noisy over here. I'm like, oh, this nigga not muted.
Listen, man.
Listen, man.
Just hit the drop.
Oh man, yo. All right, my man said the job. Of course, I can't fucking locate it. That's just how it is. All right, we going in three, two, one. Yo. What's happening, everybody? Oh shit!
God damn, there's an echo on this bitch.
Damn! No,
You need to mute your damn self.
yo. I had a fucking reverb on this motherfucker.
Shit.
Oh man, yo. Yo, this why we don't get no views, nigga. Our first 2 minutes of the show, niggas like, yo, what's going on? What are they
Listen,
doing? Do they even talk wrestling?
man,
Oh
we talk
man.
everything.
Yo,
Everything's wrestling.
man. Yo, y'all know what it is. It's Item Most High in the motherfucking guest room right now. With my tag team partner. We are no longer in person. We back to the digital, back to the via satellite. You know what I'm saying? Item Most High, tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bay. What's going on, brother?
What's good? What's good? And you are tuned into the Underground Professional Wrestling Podcast. And if you check our subscribers and views, you know why it's underground. So check out and tap in and like and subscribe so you can increase the volume. So we are no longer underground. Maybe one day we're overground, and who knows? Maybe
Now,
we're
my
actually
man
popping
said
one day.
overground. Come on. My
Overground.
nigga said
Woo!
we overground with it.
Overground. Yo, we gonna go. We're gonna sell out. That's what we're gonna do. Listen,
Yo,
but we are here to talk the week that was in professional wrestling. But before you do that, like I said, like, subscribe. It will be a big help to the channel and to what we're trying to build here. Definitely check out eiwshop.com and get some merchandise. We are revamping that soon, so check it out. There's gonna be some new shit dropping soon, so look out for that.
absolutely.
And tune into our medias of socialness. You got RW Podcast One on Twitter, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on IG, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, and we even got a TikTok if you like that shit. Reasonable Wrestling. Reasonable Wrestling. I think that's it. Reasonable Wrestling.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
think it's I think it's
Yeah. So check it out. Like, subscribe, and follow us. But we're not here to talk about all that. We're here to talk about the week that was in professional wrestling. So where do you want to start, Chris?
Well, I mean, we always record. Clearly, Thursdays is our day.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody else that do they thug thizzle on Thursday. But 420 Thursday is how we gonna try to make sure we kick it off. And it happens to be the day after Dynamite. Well, usually the day after Dynamite. Um, but Dynamite happened on Tuesday. We had no wrestling yesterday. We had an off day. You know what I'm saying? But Dynamite was hot. Dynamite was was Title Tuesday, where every championship, every match on. I think we had that conversation. I said, "Yo, they got so many championships that they can have a title. They can have title matches every show. Can just be title matches because they have so many. And you can build stories. You can build shit off that. And they heard me. You know what I'm saying? They listened to the kid. So it was Title Tuesday, and the big thing, of course, that came from uh, that situation was the main event. John Moxley, um, Adam Hangman Page had a match, and man, within that match, Hangman. And if you don't mind, can you send that to the chat one more time
For
so I can
sure. For
grab
sure.
that? What we have is we're gonna try to pull up this link so you can see exactly what happened. It was a normal routine, you know what I'm saying, a run of the mill thing that we see within wrestling all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Lariato.
And with that being said, damn, I cannot copy and paste in the private chat. That sucks. And with that being said, I'm trying to produce and drive this show, and it is not producing.
Here you go.
But with
I'm
that,
gonna send it to the email.
okay,
And pop it in there. But
with that being
essentially,
said, like,
it was a routine because we all know the match with the main event.
Yeah,
it was Hangman Page and
thank you for saving me.
Hangman Page and Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship, and it was a routine, lariat. Jon Moxley came in with a routine lariat. It was a good match thus far to that point, but Hangman ended up landing on the side of his head, knocked him out. He had a concussion. People thought maybe he broke his neck, and he had to get stretchered out on a stretcher. He had to get stretchered out. So there was a lot of concern about Hangman. Everybody was concerned, sending his prayers, and I was concerned. I was like, damn, way to go out, man. That's tough. But luckily, thank God he is all right, but he might be concussed. And he's in concussion protocol in AEW. And as we know, we've been talking about concussion protocol in the NFL recently. It's been a hot topic. Absolutely. Everything going on with Tua. And we talked about it on the pod a couple weeks ago. And here we are in AEW, the World of Professional Wrestling, where it's concussion. Now, reason why I'm bringing it up, because first and foremost, this is a reality of professional wrestling. People get injured, and you're putting yourself at risk every single time you go out there. So one thing we should do is appreciate the platform and the people that are going out there. I remember telling, when I met Matt and when I met Dez, like, yo, I appreciate what y'all do, because like you guys are literally putting yourself on the line for our entertainment. And it's a big thing. I take it seriously when I watch these shows. That's why I not try to like look at them as human beings and not so much as just the character, because you can go out there, you can really get hurt. But it was a routine lariat that you think that it would just, keep going. The match probably didn't mean to end. I know the match wasn't supposed to end that way, obviously. But luckily he's all right. But with that being said, I think that AEW took the precautions, made sure his head was protected, stretched him out, didn't try to like force him to get up and complete the match, or didn't try to like do anything. They just stopped it right away, which was the best they can do in the moment of when that happened. So I think that was the proper way to do it. Take him to a medical facility and let them release him.
So I finally got the clip up. I can show it within the stream. You want a solo shot of it, or do you?
Yeah, you can solo shot it. But this was the footage of the actual incident.
Yep. Don't copyright this, please.
That was awesome by Hangman. Ooh. Oh! Moxley, the King Kong Lariat decked the challenger. That'd make Icky Woods proud. Wow. Those who know, the Icky Shuffle, baby. We're in Cincinnati. That's absolutely. Look at that. Hangman Page got turned inside out by the champion.
And now, and if we're being completely honest, I think it's the landing. Yeah. Right, as you see the lariat, as you see him does the spin, he hits his head very hard on, and thank you again. Like I said, I talk shit a lot about Court. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got shit to say about Court, but listen, he allowed us insight to something that we love that I would never have the opportunity to do. Without actually me, reaching out and him allowing it. So I said that to say this: setting up that ring, my guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's talking about Court Bauer. He's the air matches. Yeah, it is not an air matches, and he's Chris is referencing the Court Bauer. He's the president or CEO of MLW, and he is the owner of MLW, and he allowed us and Chris, to be a part of the production staff, and we set that ring up, and he set it up a lot more than I did because he was actually working with them consistently. I worked like one night and then I was gone, but he saw, like you see, it's place. It's wood planks underneath that
planks.
ring. It's not a trampoline. It's not a trampoline at all. It is an active, like, it is a hard, concrete, not concrete, but it's a wooden platform underneath it. And there's a bunch of wooden platforms underneath it. And that's how you get knocked out. If it was a trampoline, yeah, you would just bounce right back up. But nah, he hit his head really hard, and they had to take him to the medical facilities. So, and thank you, Avi, for the shout. I appreciate that. Upgrading our shit. Evolution ain't a mystery. But
I'm running you a solo.
No, okay. But essentially, what we're getting at is that there's risk in pertaining to the sport of wrestling. I think everybody knows that, and we're going to, talk about how we appreciate the art form and how we appreciate the people that are going out there putting their life on the line. I see that Hangman Page is somebody who's passionate about this. Like we were talking about it last week, that promo he did about being a man. It's it hit home to a lot of us men. And he's the same guy who, even when he did his promo a year ago or so, he's a guy who took out his own. He had his stitches because he got bruised and they busted open his eye. And he, in the middle of the promo, he's taking out his stitches. So he's a guy who takes his shit very seriously, very passionate, and he's been through a lot of injury and all that, and he still goes out there and performs. It always seems to happen to these guys that we really love, like Big E and Hangman, who are like pretty much babyface, beloved by the fans, that get these devastating injuries. So it just sucks to see it, because I don't know how long Hangman's going to be out for, but that is a tough way to go out and then to end the match. One thing I will say, though, that protects Hangman. Like, he didn't have to get pinned. He didn't have to, submit. He lost due to a injury, and he has a right to go after the AEW championship still, and that's bringing it back to kayfabe, bringing it back to storyline. This protects Hangman in the way, but when he is healthy and when he was allowed to go, he gets a chance to come back, but obviously only if he is 100% healthy. And that's what I wanted to say first and foremost. His health comes first. Just like Tua Tagovailoa should be coming back to football this week. He was out for like 3 weeks.
He need to stay out a little bit longer.
I mean, we saw what happened with him. It wasn't as bad as, that was probably worse than Hangman.
Exactly, brother.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, he maybe should be out longer, but then again, I'm not a doctor. I really don't know what the extent of a concussion is. Like, I don't really know how long the effects last, and if you don't have a concussion like right after, are you good? Like, I don't know.
I mean, like, realistically, like, with all the technology we talking, and this is crazy, all the technology we talking about with men and mental health, all the things that we talk about that wasn't prevalent before, right? You can't use that for that and not use that for brain, right? I think if you label a concussion, if you see symptoms of a concussion, that's a month. That's a month off.
Okay.
That's a month off.
I think that's a good idea. I think you at least give them a adequate enough time to listen, especially when it happens live on TV. Both instances, live on TV. Listen, the optics alone, sit down.
Tua got to be out 4 games. Like a suspension, pay, we therapy, we check up on you. We have a therapist come to you. You got to do all these checkpoints. You got to go to, you have to meet these qualifications. You can't just take 4 weeks off.
But can you still go to the facility? Like, if you're a Tua Tagovailoa or if you're Hangman Page, you should be able to still go to his fields. Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Right. I would say no physical activity.
No physical activity.
Right? Okay. Hangman can still come and do promos. Hangman can still be on TV, you know what I mean? Can still be in the film room and be with the quarterback's coach and shit like that. But no, man, you got to take a month off. I think that should be standard. It should be like steroids use or drug use. It's standard 30 days that you just got to sit out.
I like that. But prayers up for Hangman and Tua, and honestly, and for all the people that put their lives at risk for entertainment. We don't even think about that sometimes when we're watching football, when we're watching wrestling, boxing. We just saw Deontay Wilder knock a dude out, and even though I watched people get knocked out in the past, this one just it felt different when I saw it. Like, I was like,
didn't even pack the punches that we like, nigga. The short right.
Yes, it wasn't even like a power, like boom, it's quick. knocked
Nigga,
him.
the power in the eyes was just, I'm like, oh wow, that's yikes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's what we do. That's what we like for entertainment. And this goes back to the Coliseum and like gladiators. Like, you know, they used to like literally fight tigers and fight each other and kill each other for the death to the death in front of millions of people in the Coliseum. And we
but you know
stopped
what's
that
crazy
shit.
about that? You know what's crazy about that? That was a punishment before it became popular.
Yeah.
Right? That was used like as a term of death for prisoners or shit like
Yeah,
that, right?
exactly. Like prisoners of
Fight,
war. Oh, you think you're badass? Go fight this tiger. You know, let's see what happens to
or
you.
fight
Like,
each other. They have
or
prisoners
fight each
fight
other.
each other.
Yeah, you got to fight each other.
Then
Whoever
they have people volunteer then,
and
and
it
then
fight for
that
your freedom. Yeah,
graduated over time
yeah,
to
true.
graduate over until I volunteer to be in. And now we have this: people volunteer their life. People dedicate their life to be in the Coliseum to fight the bruh. It's Aaron Donald. It's Von Miller. It's John Moxley. You know what I mean? Like it's Nia Jackson's fucking can ragdoll you. It's like
It's Brock
anybody that
Lesnar, it's Bobby Lashley. These guys
it's,
who love that. This is Matt Riddle. Like there's something about their mindset is like, I want to
they
get in the
love the
ring or a cage.
physicality of that shit, nigga.
Yes, they love it. They love the physicality and they volunteer for this, you know, form of entertainment. I can make a lot of money and beat people up. I love it, you know, like, and we all know that one kid on the block who would always want to fight. And there's certain people that are just wired that way. So we've now turned it into industries that we can now, you know, get money from and watch as entertainment. But sometimes I look at it like, damn, like, is this okay?
I want to segue into some what you just said. People wanting to fight, and it has something to do also in the show, right? MJF, right at the end of the night, called this shot. I'm cashing in full gear. He said, "I want to fight." Right? He said, "I want to earn it."
Yep.
But
what happened before that was him and, you know, William Regal and that another great MJF promo with somebody, and he told the whole story. One thing I like about MJF is he's a great storyteller. I mean, he's one of the great storytellers of our generation. And he went in the ring with William Regal, and he told a story about how he was 19 years old and he was working in a wrestling school, and then he got a chance to be a backstage hand or a on-screen, you know, talent. I think that's when Samoa Joe pushed him out the way. And then before that happened, essentially these guys who were wrestlers, you know, who were going to be on-screen talent, were able to do dark matches, you know, and MJF says, I was able to do a dark match. I did great. You guys loved me. And then he said, he talked to William Regal, who was part of, you know, a producer back then in WWE. And William Regal said, "You're doing great. You're going to be a big star. You know, how old are you?" And he said, "I'm 19. He said, "Oh, boy, you're too young." And then he goes on to tell about how William Regal says that you should send me a match every single month of you doing it, and I'll keep you in mind. And he would do that. He would send him a match of him in the Indies, you know, every single month, and him cutting promos every single month. And eventually, William Regal sent him back a message like that he's extremely busy, and he should go out there, essentially make a name for himself. And you know, if he makes a name for himself, he'll know it, and he'll come out and get him because there's more people who are, I guess, more talented and of age. And he said that made him depressed, and that he wanted to end his career, and he wanted to kill himself because he wasn't sure if this was for him, and he was insecure about that. But then he still has that email now, and he uses it as fuel to become who he is now. This, you know, MJF that we see today that is better than you, and you know it. It's a great story.
This nigga got mad villain origin stories, man.
I know, right?
Here, brother.
You think what I like about it though, because it's somehow embedded in truth. MJF's character now has a legacy that we can say, hey, we have this picture with him and CM Punk. Hey, he was in that program. I mean, he was a backstage hand in WWE at one point. Hey, he did go to this wrestling school. He doesn't just make shit up. You know, The Rock's tell story. He's a great storyteller too. But The Rock would just make story up. Like that whole like this is your life Rock segment is classic. but it wasn't like real people, you know. But like he takes pieces of his real life, puts it into storylines, and this character who is like a little boy who's kind of a wounded character who wants approval from people, but he's so brash and arrogant and goes about it in ways to get to rub it in that, you know, I am who I am now. It's like he's overcompensating in a sense, and that's what I like about MJF so much, is that there's layers to this character. It's not just he's a, you know, rich boy and from Long Island. No, there's layers to this character, and he's one of the best of the business in this day and age. He tells a story. He knows how to build the angle with anybody. And when he did this with Rey Regal, it reminded me of the CM Punk angle and how we got so attached to his story. And I'm like, man, you know, and the fans, he suckers the fans in every single time. So now people are like, is MJF turning face? Is he? Because they were cheering him by the end of this promo. And then William Regal says to him, listen, I was 16 getting my ass beat by grown ass men. If an email got you that way, then you know, you're pretty much, you know, you've had it easy, you know, and, you know, you still got a lot to learn, and I don't respect you because you don't earn it. Pretty much like you take the shortcuts, you beat up Tony Schiavone. He's like, you use that ring. I use a brass knuckles because I just like punching niggas in the face with it. Which is, I think, was a cop out, but essentially he's like, you know, I used my
I would say, listen, Sir William Regal is feared in that ring. You dig me? Like,
yeah, but he still did the same thing MJF did with the brass knucks. He would use that to take victories, just like MJF uses the ring. You know,
I would say this. William Regal told MJF that he had to learn the mic because he knew that he wasn't gonna learn the ropes. You dig? Like, so in all retrospect, like William Regal, you know, listen, we don't talk about the Miz ring work. He's passable. He's good. He's decent. He's not an NXT trainee. You know what I'm saying? Like, and neither is the Miz. He can hold his own. He can look the part. He can be in the midst of ring generals when he's, with, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't look out of place.
Yeah. But MJF, by the way, he got into shape, you know, in a 3-month span. Like when he came back like he put on weight, he put on pounds. He looks the part now.
This goes back to looking the part now. This goes back to, again, right? This goes back to how you work in the manner of which you work. What is it that you're trying to portray right now, right? We didn't know what MJF was, style was, contextually within. Now we look at that frame. Now we look at the segments that he produces and the numbers that he put up. Like, okay, now that's a heavyweight champion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
MJF overcompensated with the ring because, listen, he doesn't have the ring acumen. He didn't have the look. He didn't have the stamina. He wasn't gonna, you know what I mean? Like, even if he's not, Dax Harwood look how he looks, but Dax Harwood wrestles how he wrestles. And nobody talks about what it is or the physique of Dax Harwood because they know he can get it in. You know what I'm saying? MJF, we talk about the difference in Adam Cole's look, the physique and the pudginess, right? Just a little bit, and even his frame. Because you're like, hey man, if you ain't gonna look like Johnny Gargano, you can't look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different in how it is that you look.
Yeah,
you know?
I think especially with Johnny Gargano when he's right next to you in NXT and he's cut up and he's
so
like the same size, but you know, it does stand out. Like, hey man, you're the world champion. Like, you know, maybe you can get in shape a little bit, but more than that, like MJF might not need to wrestle like Bryan Danielson. He might not need to be like those guys who like, or even Adam Cole. He just he put together a package that works for him now. It's the character, it's the mic work, now he has the physique to go with it. And so when he has that big ass AEW strap around his waist, it don't look like it's dwarfing him, you know. And so
it don't look like Leon Ruff. The American champion, you know what I'm saying?
He got the shoulders, he got the biceps, he got everything. So I know that the aesthetics is not what AEW is going for in wrestling, but I do think it adds to MJF's look. I do think when he takes his shirt off, you're like, huh, he looks like he fits the part of a guy who's going to compete with Jon Moxley. You know, a guy who's going to compete with a Hangman Page.
Absolutely.
Now you can see, okay, he's going to go into a fight. Not like this guy's going to cheat to win. Even though he still might.
I think that was, and I'm sorry not to cut, but that was William Regal's point, right? Like Regal, right? We know his struggles, we know his past. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got it, boys. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's my point. Yeah.
but you still
the power of the punch.
But I'm saying you still had the fear that they gonna put you in a Regal stretcher.
Yeah, you still had that part of fear. Yeah, that's true.
You still got a fear that they can go stretch you out. You know
so I get what you mean. So Regal did have a point when he's saying, "Listen, I can wrestle." Actually, basically,
that was the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I really use these because I wanted to, not because I had to.
Not because I had to. I see. No, he had a point, but I think that even MJF is getting better in the ring style. I think that he definitely has more character work in his ring style. Just like the Miz, like you say, there's different ways to skin a cat in wrestling. There's many ways to go about this. If you're coming in as a Yokozuna, there's a certain style you got to wrestle. You know, you can't come in like Rey Mysterio and start trying to do moonsaults and shit, obviously. You know, and if you don't have the quickness, the agility to do be like a Sammy Guevara or or Darby Allin or a Orange Cassidy, use what you got. You got that mic skills, you got your physique, you got your aura about you, the way you come around with the Burberry scarf, and you got that in the ring. What do the fans want to see? You have a mindset to show, to connection with the fans. What do they want to see when I'm in that ring? And even in that ring and with CM Punk, there were moments where character work came into play. Everything he did with Wardlow came into play, and I loved it. So what I like about MJF matches is that you don't necessarily know how they're going to play out. You don't know, like, all right, he's going to do this and he's going to do that. No, it's going to be some kind of theme or some kind of arcs told or story told through the match. He says he's going to earn it against Jon Moxley. Now he came out at the end of the night. He cashed in his chip, like you said, for Full Gear. MJF versus Jon Moxley, AEW Championship on the line. Will MJF win? I think he should. And I don't know if he should win clean, though. I think that the story should be he's going to work clean and he's going to go to the match and he's going to go about the right way. But when it comes down to the moment when he has to choose, he's still fucking MJF. And he's better than you because he got this. And he knows it. And he's going to work us all. And that's what I want the picture to be going into Full Gear. Will MJF cheat to win this match and finally get the AEW World Championship the right way? And I want us to be like, damn, he did it.
So you think he's gonna go dirty?
I don't know. I think that he could possibly win clean. I think he could possibly fight clean and lose.
I want William to flip.
Huh?
I want William to flip.
You want William Regal to flip to MJF?
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be crazy.
I need Regal to flip.
That'd be crazy.
Here's
the thing. I want MJF to leave with the championship. That's all I care about. I want, because right now, Jon Moxley, you've been great. Don't get me wrong. He can go on his vacation because he was owed one, and he weathered the storm for the past 2 months, and or plus now with going into Full Gear. Let him go on his fucking vacation, okay?
Give me one more. Go solo. One moment. What
the fuck is going on? Okay, let him go. Let Jon Moxley go on his vacation. He earned it. He's still he's still the leader of AEW in my eyes. He's still gonna be the flagship bearer for that company for like the next year or so, 2 years possibly. But I think that the reign with MJF needs to start now. Like while he's so hot, like while MJF is still a hot commodity, don't waste it. Put that title on him and see what he can do with other people. Tell the story of MJF and see where we can go forward with him. And if you can get William Regal to turn and go to his side, I think that could be crazy. That could be great storytelling. That could lead to a whole new faction, a whole new couple of months. MJF, Jon Moxley trying to get his revenge on William Regal, Bryan Danielson trying to get his revenge on William Regal and MJF. That kind of, you know, action or turn for William to help MJF would be, I think, the best route to go.
Yeah,
And
I think with that being said too, William Regal doesn't. They don't need Blackpool. He don't need Blackpool Combat and Combat Club.
They don't need him.
They don't need him, and he don't need them. It's just an abundance of just a bone of weight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this gives like he can chop down Blackpool Combat piece by piece, MJF, to build his legacy. He can take out Wheeler Yuta with William Regal. He can take out Bryan Danielson, and he can stack up wins. And then Jon Moxley can be the person that, you know, he took his time off to take, like, damn, William Regal tournament, I lost my title. I got my vacation. Cool, I'm back, cool-headed. About to get at your ass. One-on-one rematch. And fucking MJF wins.
Wait until Adam Cole comes back. Like, because, I mean, I hope he's good. I hope he's all right. But MJF versus a babyface Adam Cole, that could be a nice thing.
Nah. What we need to do is MJF gets past Blackpool Combat Club, and what's waiting for him next? Wardlow. Because we ain't forget about your bitch ass nigga. No sirree, Bob. So after MJF thinks after MJF has had, like, right, so because like you said, this match Full Gear, he's gonna earn it. He's gonna put in, but the rematch of him and Moxley, the fight for his life, the fight of his life. Moxley scratching, clawing to get back where he lost, where he was screwed over at. Marty Falls finishes, MJF bleeding, Moxley bleeding. MJF gets the win. 1, 2, 3, boom. He wins, crowd boos. He's knocked off all 3 members of Blackpool Combat Club. Next episode, he comes out, talks his shit. War. And motherfucking, yeah, you see his face just drown. Because he remembers who he fucked over to get to that spot, nigga. And that's going to be a killer program, bro.
And you know why I like that, too? Because this is a program with no former WWE wrestlers. It's Wardlow, it's MJF, 2 guys who you've made into main event stars at that point who can run your company. Whether MJF leaves the company or not, you got Wardlow. Whether Wardlow wants to go to WWE, you got MJF. Like, you got people who you're making, lining up that are not like, hey, they're just stars because they were in some other company. So I think that is very vital to the sustainability of AEW.
It's super vital for the lineage and this goes back to the business and logic situation that I want to kind of spur up on a moment. Listen. This is a boom period, right, for us. Not to get too political here, but ain't no coronavirus taking over. Ain't no Trump shit taking over on the news. Niggas, it's time to settle back into like normal life and what we was doing. Look at the race for basketball and football and baseball and college football. Like, niggas is getting back into the swing of things.
Listen, November's coming up. No one gives a fuck about voting. No one cares. No one cares. Listen, we are focused on our
nigga. The NFL is trying its hardest. Like, it's trying this, like, hey, we know 25 million people will watch this product, vote, and they like, give me -7, bitch.
That's all we fucking care about, dog. We were done with the political shit, man. We want to have fun. We want to relax.
Give me the Bills -3.5.
We want to make money. We want to bet. We want to get back to fucking around, like, and being ourselves. Like, fuck this political landscape, man. Y'all figure that shit out.
With that being said, please remember where WWE was at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. Please remember the fever pitch match of Bianca versus Rhea. Who's going to go to WrestleMania and face Charlotte? Please remember Donovan Dijakovic versus Keith Lee. And this is just NXT shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but let's not forget also, like, the way that wrestling can capture AEW made they fucking run, right? This is what I'm saying, the boom period of wrestling. this will be the testament of if your business can sustain, right?
People don't. You know what's funny about that? People don't
Go ahead.
notice when you're making new stars. Like people
Yep.
just live it. They live through it.
Yep.
We go through it, and then later on, we're like, man, I can't believe it. John Cena is retiring out of nowhere. No, he was built through a time where you were shitting on a product, and then you're like, man, he's leaving now. And we see stars every fucking day now. We saw Kevin Owens come back to NXT like it's a family reunion. This is like the middle of his career. Like he's still got a couple more years left, but one day he's gonna retire too. One day, and right now we're seeing new stars pop up in the Bianca Belairs, the Rhea Ripley's, the MJFs, who have their own legacy that are building right now. And I want y'all to embrace it, enjoy it, because wrestling is in a boom period. So much so that if you want to get into it, WWE stock price has just hit a 52-week high. With Vince McMahon going through all that fucking drama earlier this year, with all the controversy, with him leaving the company, with Triple H taking over, Nick Khan coming in, like Stephanie taking over CEO, the company's going up, and AEW is going up. Wrestling is definitely in a boom period. Everything is wrestling. EIWshop.com. Check out and get some merchandise because it's a boom period, nigga. So listen.
And with that being said, too, just to kind of tie in, because we're going to bleed this into business and logic. With the boom period, with the business, with solidifying yourself as a mainstay company, having MJF and Wardlow be your biggest emotional invested program without previous, like you said, established stardom elsewhere is the best thing for the longevity of that company.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and the only way you do that is if you tell the intricacies of the stories correctly. They're doing
that story does not exist without AEW, and that's the cool thing about it. None of that exists without AEW. Like you can't talk to like, oh, you know, you were the worst out of 3 men in a group before. Like no one wants to talk about the fucking Shield when you're in AEW. You can just make your own encapsulated universe, talk about the history you've built over 3 years of stuff with MJF and Wardlow, and now it's in a world championship match. Like it takes time. It takes time, but Wardlow's going to be a huge mainstay for years to come. You know, for years to come, Wardlow's going to be the man at AEW. I'm telling you.
I'm already told you. Once Wardlow and Joe drop those secondary titles that they have, that's a beautiful feud in the making right there.
Oh, I can't wait.
Wardlow and Joe for the AEW championship. Listen. After Wardlow destroys MJF going into the summer of 2023, the fall of, I'm predicting MJF will win a championship in at Full Gear, and he'll have the title for a good 6 to 7 months. And then by that time, you got to tell the story of him beating Blackpool Combat Club, and you got to start telling that story for Wardlow and MJF.
In the ways, yeah.
And you got to do that. That has to happen. That has to happen.
Yeah, I need War Joe to clash. I mean, I would love it for the AEW championship. But I probably see it happening sooner, on the way to him, you know, facing MJF. But I want them to go through like war, like legitimately. I want Samoa Joe to be a heel again. I like a lot of heel Samoa Joe is the best Samoa Joe. He just comes out there and talks his shit and gets in people's faces and headbutts them. Like he's just brash and this is disrespectful. You know, that's what I want to see in AEW with a little bit more freedom. I mean, he probably had a lot of freedom in WWE because he was so good at what he was doing, but let's see him now, you know. And he's him, AJ. They're in the end of their career. Like, you know, like these guys who were like huge stars and TNA and all that, we saw them. They're not in the beginning of their career. They are the guys who one day are going to have a retirement match at WrestleMania or a retirement match in AEW that we're going to be like, all right, who is the one to put these guys down for good? And Wardlow is one of those guys who you look at like he's qualified to put a legend down, to make his legend bigger. So him and Samoa Joe going at it, and I mean, even if it takes, you know, years before that match actually happens,
that's what I'm saying.
You know,
that's exactly what I mean. I think that's what I'm saying. Like I'm predicting Wardlow can be champion by the end of next year.
I like that.
2023.
I believe that too. I believe that
I,
can
I,
happen
I,
too.
I like this build of what it is and what he's doing right now. I think that will be significant and also it's going to help MJF too in the long run. Because by the end of 2023, that's the only person. Listen, it's either going to be Wardlow or Phil comes back to take it off MJF.
Nah,
And exactly.
I think Wardlow got to be the dude. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people on the roster. It could go a lot of different ways, but what I think makes most sense is that angle happening. Even if he were to face him and lose, like if he cheated to beat Wardlow, because he got squashed last time they fought, and then it extends a little bit further. And then he's like, listen, Bidding War 2024, I'm going to 2044 as champion. I'm taking the AEW championship to WWE. And that last match before his contract ends at the end of the year, it's him
This nigga
versus
gonna pull a CM
Wardlow.
Punk?
Yeah.
He gonna
pull a CM Punk.
Punk.
And then, I mean, you'll see if Wardlow can defend AEW's honor or, Hangman Page, whoever, Kenny Omega. There's a lot of people that can be it because I know there's a lot of stars on that show. But Wardlow is the guy you can create, and make him like the main guy going forward.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would love to see Wardlow as champion, Hangman face him, Kenny Omega face him, Bryan Danielson, and see where it goes. I think Wardlow he can be the main headliner for AEW going forward, like the guy who's like you put on the posters and everything.
I mean, look at the guy. He's Batista.
Yeah, exactly. Jim Ross loves that dude.
Nigga. Good God, look at that slap of meat. Just throw some sea salt on it and put it on the grill.
Throw some barbecue sauce on him. I just want to put barbecue sauce all over. By God. Like, pause, Jim Ross.
Bro, that nigga just like, listen, I am a bisexual man because I love being from Portland.
It's like, Jim Ross, you don't need to know all that. Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up.
Himself, brother. I'm coming up. Oh, yeah. All right, so now you mentioned it, and I'm gonna bring it up and give it WWE stock price reaches a peak high of $77 and what, some change? Shit, I'm a stockholder. Let me look what that shit is. Let me see what that shit is.
Listen, you are a stockholder, so you should be happy about this news. WWE stock price reached a 52-week high. Like I mentioned, they are invulnerable to the controversy because you know why? We don't give a fuck. Wrestling fans don't care. Actually, we appreciate that Vince is out of the company. We know before the companies knew and the stockholders knew that the product is going to get better, and life moves on after Vince. And I'm just proud that Vince was. I'm just happy that they were able.
$77.36.
So you're up.
77. Yeah.
All right.
Now the 52-week low was $46.91. So we had a 52-week high of 77 and a 52-week low of 46, meaning that the gap of what we received from is $31, $30 from 52 weeks of it being the lowest to it being the highest right now. So, I mean, and listen, my thing about not to cut you off, and I apologize to when I did that.
Go ahead.
My thing of what I was trying to tell you is this. With the television contracts and shit like that, those things are just etched in stone, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't get more money or less money because of the ratings. You dig? You know what I mean? Like what Fox paid and what Universal paid is what they paid. You know what I mean? Like my thing is now the business side of WWE was never going to be impacted like everybody thought that it could. Like $46 is low, right? But that also goes with what I was telling you about where the world is and the availability of the bandwidth for distractions. You dig? There was no live events to help with this money. Like this was all, there was nothing to help generate money. Once niggas went back on tour, once niggas opened up, we went to WrestleMania because them niggas said, come in, spend money, buy merch. My bitch bought me the $1 million belt. You know that's the most expensive belt on the fucking website, nigga. You know how many times niggas look at that belt and be like, man, I can't wait.
They had like nachos on brisket in Dallas, dog. I was buying that shit.
Nigga, like, bruh, nigga, they had gourmet chefs in the motherfucking stadium cutting shit off the bones, nigga, because they say you are going to be here to buy it. And guess what? We were. We were.
Mm-hmm.
We were.
Wrestling is universal, man. I go to Nigeria and people got merchandise. I go to Nigeria and people watching wrestling. It's worldwide, you know. So it's a thing where not one man sinks the ship, and that's what I'm thinking the most proud of is that hitting this 52 week high. It's not like Triple H and Stephanie are not like they take notice. Like they're like, oh, okay, business as usual. No, this is accomplishment because you could easily had all this controversy sink a ship. Like companies don't usually get through that kind of controversy or it takes some time. It takes a long time. This is like how many months since this stuff came out?
But this is what I want to say. This is how it happens when we be like, how does it happen? Right? Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phoenix Suns. We don't know owners' names of sports teams until they do some fuck shit. And then what are they rewarded with? A big ass parachute. So now we ain't never known you before. We ain't never gonna know you again. And your ass just hit on the back end for a couple billies. You know what I'm saying? The stockholders of WWE was never going to hold on to the emotional attachment of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Like, no. They were understanding exactly what we've always known. The brand of WWE is like the brand of the NFL. No matter what concussions or what Tua Tagovailoa happens or what drugs that the 90s Cowboys had or whatever the fucking circumstance is, the shield is the fucking shield and that shit prints money. And WWE at the same time, at the same token, the thing that's going to skyrocket this bitch, Chidi, is when we start tapping back in emotionally. When niggas start tapping back in emotionally because the creativeness is back on board, because the stories matter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was gonna go. You should go to full screen because I was gonna go pick something up and show it to you. But you know what? It's all good. No, it's all good. I'm not gonna go full. It's all good. You're right. Emotionally, like with the NFL, whether it's WWE, the buying the merchandise. I got a Jets pillow. I got a Zach Wilson shirt. Like all this stuff. I'm now spending money on football, which I haven't in like 6 years, 7 years. Spent money on. Now I'm thinking about getting a Sauce jersey. So listen, it's up right now for entertainment right now. So I know I'm a product of this shit. You know, it's up right now for like, you know. So
nigga say, yo, I'm not distracted by COVID no more. I'm about to buy shit. That's
what niggas are doing. We're all emotionally invested. We don't want to talk about all this bullshit. Kanye, shut the fuck up. Like why are we doing this? Like, I'm done with the political discourse. Let me just live my fucking life and just be happy and enjoy the things I like to enjoy without you fucking ruining it.
But I think that and see the psychology of that, right? The psychology of that is the reason why it's not like we're not conscious.
No, yeah.
You're right. So I'm saying that for the for the audience, the people like, it's not that we aren't
I'm not
conscious.
insensitive. I'm not
It's-
conscious. You can go back listen to all podcasts.
Exactly.
What it is
the context of it is I'm sorry, I don't want to speak for you.
no. The context of it is that I don't care as much as I used to. I'm not saying that I don't care from a place of insensitivity, but it's like I don't have the energy to tap myself out empathetically to causes anymore. I need to live my life, and I got to make sure that people I love are happy, and that I'm happy, you know. And I can't change nobody. The world doesn't change unless I change myself and the people that I'm with, the people that I encounter with, you know. So, like we always talk about it on the pod, virtual signaling online. People do it all the time, and they say, "Oh, hashtag this," or talk about this, or go vote, and then they don't go vote. Like people do this all the time. And
I mean,
I'm not
us,
with it.
we were never going to stop watching wrestling.
But
right?
yeah, we've been very vocal about that.
We have. Like, I'm like, yo, it's like I'm not gonna watch certain shows.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know, but
because this is what life is. Life is a transactional thing. If you're getting something, if you're benefiting from it, you're gonna go to it, and you're going to find what your soul or heart desire, and you're gonna go towards it, you know, and you're gonna embrace it. And I don't think we should sacrifice joys in life for certain, you know, political stances, or, you know, unless you are genuinely that. There's certain things that are genuinely to your heart and soul that you don't want to fuck with anymore. Like for a while, I didn't watch the NFL because of the whole Colin Kaepernick taking the knee stuff and all that stuff. And over time, I start to see more progress, and that made me more comfortable, even though it's not quite there.
Rihanna's getting a bag. You don't.
Yeah, you know. But at the end of the day, what I realize is that at the end of the day, whether I watch or don't watch, I'm not getting a bag. Like that. So it's like, am I gonna punish myself because now Rihanna's getting the bag? And like no, I'm just punishing eventually it comes to a point where you're just punishing yourself if you're gonna be that morally high about something. And I'm at the point where I'm not taking that moral high ground unless it's something that I can hold myself to. Like
Exactly.
still, if I can really hold myself to.
I don't know what the fuck else I'm gonna replace on Sundays, nigga. I'm gonna be honest. I know on Sundays. Listen, me and my wife don't get along on a lot. We this is my wife. We get along, but as far as like being on the same page with like her expectations, her prism, her shit like that, she just knows Sundays. She tries to do the most with the kids. She tried to do the most with the house. She tried not to give me the most tasks to do because she know when the motherfucking shit kick off at 105, I'm locked in until about 11 o'clock at night, nigga.
If it brings you joy, why should you deprive yourself, you know?
It's not even so much that. It's just like you say. Sunday, I know it's a day of Sabbath. It's a day of rest. I know me being a dad or whatever, like we talk about, like, yo, it's a day that I can drink beer, I can fold laundry, I can turn it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to expand so much bandwidth than just watching football. And that goes back to wrestling, right? The entertainment value. Hey, man, I know if I don't want to waste 3 hours to watch wrestling, I'm not going to, because
then don't. Yeah, exactly. If something doesn't draw you to it, and we can go to NXT right now after that. But business wise, to wrap that up, congratulations to WWE, because business is booming, and AEW business is booming. So all y'all talk online, oh, you're not gonna watch wrestling anymore. Woo, boo, boo, boo. It ain't gonna do nothing to the company. They still moving. We all know, and we enjoy it. This is what we want. This is what you desire. If you don't even know it, if you don't know it, but with NXT, it's not necessarily what I desire. It's all the time. I'm gonna be honest. I tune in for very few people. You know, Wesley, my dog. Yo, I can't wait till he wins the NXT championship. Listen, man. They brought Kevin Owens. I gotta have to tune in for my guy, and then that's it, pretty much. But NXT is in a rebuild. NXT is in a rebuild, and I'm gonna give it its time. You know, just like other things we were just talking about with the political landscape and everything. I gave WWE its time for Black representation. When we started this podcast, you go back to our first podcast, it's all about Black representation. That's what we were preached constantly on the pod, and we started to get it. Boom, Kofi champion. Whoa, you didn't expect that? boom, Bianca, boom, Big E, boom,
Shout out
Bobby.
to
Like,
Bianca, the longest reigning black champion.
we'll get into that in a second.
You know what I'm
But shout out
saying?
to Bianca. But I allow things to evolve, and that's why I can watch wrestling now, because I'm like, oh, you gave me what I wanted. I can't hold you to the same standard that you used to be. I don't like when my ex-girlfriend used to hold me to my old self. Like, no, I'm a new nigga. Like, you gotta hold me as who I am today. Like, you gotta make sure that the world evolves just like you evolve, and give it its grace. And that's why I watch the NFL again. That's why I watch WWE, because I see that, hey, things are making progress. At the end of the day, that's what I make my own morality on that. NXT, I don't watch, because it's something that I watch for certain people on certain days when they're on, and then I tune off, because I think that this rebuild, I'm going to give it its time. While it's given its time, doesn't mean that I got to be there to watch it consistently. Do I think the things they're doing are cool? Yeah. I think they're like when the Jets, for instance, went on their rebuild, like in New York here, they sold off everything. They gave up Jamal Adams, a star safety, star player, for draft picks, and they got picks in the draft, and now they went through hell last year and won 4 games. So right now we're in a time where NXT is kind of winning 4 games, 6 games, and they ain't going to win the championship this year. But give it a month. give it another year, give it 2 years. I do believe in NXT's rebuild, and I do believe.
I want to pause on that. Last year was that. 2.0 was that. This year now we
2.0
know,
was like 2 games.
Huh?
They won
Well,
like 2 games.
But that's the Jets, though, right? That's the no two. This is what I'm saying.
2.0 was Adam Gase. That was like 2 years ago. Jets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the pandemic. That's the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the pandemic is when shit was, because listen, realistically, man, there has to have been a shift in the coaching, right? NXT was only going to be what it was. Listen, dog, we never really got a chance to see Adam Cole go on the road in the WWE universe off of what he built in NXT to do Adam Cole baby at WrestleMania because of the pandemic. We never really, not to say that we didn't get, like, not to say that they did well with Shinsuke coming up from NXT with, you know what I'm saying, but they still allow, we still got some moments with shit. But what I'm saying is,
I think that was the heyday. Like, that NXT reminds me of the Jets now. The Jets are pretty successful. Shinsuke, Sammy came in, rookies, hey. And they were extremely successful right off the bat. Finn came in around that time. That reminds me of the Jets now, bringing in these new guys who are rookies, and they immediately hit the ground running because they got that skill. They got that sauce, no pun intended. But I believe that NXT is going to take its time to get that sauce again. Now, do I think that it needs another influx of talent? Maybe so, because you took pretty much Division 3 athletes and put them on a wrestling show. That's how it feels. I mean, they might be D1 in real life.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, that's a drop. That's what. Listen, you took a gamble on the Creed brothers. It paid off. You took a gamble on Carmelo Hayes. It paid off. You took a gamble on a Braun Breaker. It paid off, right? Like, it's just like Zach Wilson. You don't know if you have a quarterback or not. But at the same time, like, NXT don't know if they have an NXT champion or not. They don't know if Braun Breakers is somebody that you can build a company with. But at the same time,
I thought he was, but I think he could end up being flavor of the month, flavor of the year, type of guy, and then we are over it. But I do think he has a skill and talent to get over. I do think he needs some competition. But my point is that what was cool about NXT when it came last time is that they brought in. It felt like they brought in first round draft picks with the Sammy, KO, Finn, Shinsuke. These guys are veterans in the industry. When you take a D3 athlete, give me a second. Take a D3 athlete and you put him on a football team. It's not quite the same thing, because this is the big time. You were playing D3, you're hopping up all the way to the television. That's how it feels, because you're taking these guys who have not wrestled on the indies, have not wrestled all over the place, and they don't have the persona that goes along with the play. But the gambles have worked. You got the Braun Breakers, Creed Brothers, Carmelo, and they're building their legacy now. Like this is what's going. Go ahead.
But I'm sorry, but that's where our expectation is at fault. NXT was never supposed to be an established. Hey, buddy, I love you. Go watch TV, okay? NXT was never supposed to be an established franchise. It was an expansion franchise. It's the Texans. When the Texans is bought into the NFL, they're never expected to win a Super Bowl.
No, you guys got to build.
And it takes them 16 years to get a Deshaun Watson to even be, or D-Hop, right, to even be, or J.J. Watt, right? Over time, you get a couple of franchise cornerstones, and with NXT, I think that it's just like what you said. They went out and grabbed the Kevin Owens or Sammy, those were, when you talk about they had the draft capital to get first round picks, because at that time, Sammy, Kevin, we talking about Shinsuke, Finn, at that time.
And then but my thing is, like, they added it to their, other, picks, which were the Bo Dallases, the Nevilles, the Corey Graves at the time. You had American Alpha. They added that to that, and it made for like a whole well-rounded show. The point that I was getting to was, I still think I want a little bit for first-round picks added to it. I want them to bring in. I've been saying it, Shane Taylor. I think Shane Taylor Promotions could be great for NXT, and I don't know why, or even a Jacob Fatu like for NXT. There's a lot of guys, Myron Reed in MLW doing this thing. If they're paying attention to the landscape, it's not like the indie scene is completely gone. It's not like, there's no guys from Japan that you can bring in. It's not like there's not.
I don't think that they're not doing that, though. I do think that I think that's what I'm trying to say, right? They wanted to get a handle back on what the franchise was. Mm-hmm. They wanted to get hey, we are not a veteran build franchise that has to go get, like you say, guys that are not necessarily last leg, but hey, we probably see a James Storm. For why?
I'll tell you, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't pop for James Storm, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. He wasn't like big get. But I'm just I know. I hear what you're saying, but it's like you're familiar with the guy from Impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, but speaking of Impact, they just signed Chris Bay to like a 4-year deal. And I'm like, fuck. Why couldn't he go to NXT? Like, that's an influx of like energy that I think that NXT would need. And like him being in Impact, great. He's gonna hold that brand down and be the flagship guy for the next 4 years. But man, you're young, you're talented, you got a look about you, you got skill in the ring, you can wrestle. Him at NXT with production, he could be the next big thing. So like he could be the Shinsuke of this era,
I think that goes back to the boom of the business, right? This goes back to the boom of the business. NXT at one point in time was considered Nike, where we're coming to enhance your brand because we are the brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are just gonna put Nike on you and send you out, and you are that. But now you got Under Armour. Now you got Adidas. Now you got motherfucking Puma. That's giving you the freedom, the flexibility, the availability to do things that you want and not just be a cog in a machine. NXT is rebranding themselves because they are still a cog in the machine. You dig? Like, they're still not giving people their own paintbrush, right? And with that being said, a lot of people are not just wanting to be Nike branded guys no more. You know what I mean? Like, that happens to be the case with NXT right now, where I feel like Trey Miguel had the same situation with Zach and Wes, right? Was down here for a joint, and Impact was like, yo, we're going to give you a little bit more to do what you're going to do, give you the freedom to be you. You get to rap, you get to do whatever, do your indie dates, still do whatever it is that you do. And that gives niggas to be like, okay, well, hey, brother, I love you. Go do your thing. I'm going to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's how
all right. And when Chris Bay, I'm sure when he leaves Impact, he'll be a bigger name than he is now. Maybe he'll just show up in the Royal Rumble like an AJ, you know. But all I'm saying is that he's needed in NXT. Like, you know, there's people that I mean, like, I think that for me at least, I'm not saying that, you know, that NXT is doing bad by any means. Like they're definitely weathering the storm of letting so many people get called up and then changing their kind of model towards like, okay, what we're trying to grow here as homegrown talent. And I respect it. The Creed brothers, I love it. You know what they've been doing, what they've done with Santos Escobar. I know they brought him in. What they did with Carmelo, I like that. You know, however, and then they got all the UK guys now, Pretty Deadly, you know, and Tyler Bate.
I want you to keep an eye out on. I want you to keep an eye out, man. It goes both ways, right? We see a lot of niggas pull up disgruntled from one place going to another place because it ain't all what it looks to be. Don't think that we're not going to see some AEW talent pull up, and don't think that not is going to happen, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Like with the rebuild, like you say, you give it time. I think right now, like you're saying, you're seeing a little bit of the fruits of the labor. And also, I want to say this. I say that when there's a rebuild and there's a culture shift at the top, you're going to see you're going to see.
It takes time, though.
No, you see it instantly.
What do you see instantly? In NXT, I'll be honest with you. I see that they changed the logo, but I don't see the product necessarily change. I don't see that. It hasn't changed instantly for me. As a matter of fact, it's been the same for about quite a few months, like maybe even a year.
I mean, instantly means is that there's no there. Okay, we saw the instant change of Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon. Could we not? We see the instant switch back. That's what I'm saying. And it's not gradual. It's not like. Hey,
well, I'm waiting for that for NXT. Have you seen a change?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like when we saw 2.0 and we saw Vince and Bruce Pritchard's impact on NXT, we instantly saw their impact. I instantly now see the impact of it being a full-time thing that is Sean and Tripp's show now. I instantly now notice that they're still characters, right? They're still based on that. They're still developing.
I'm going to watch Halloween Havoc from beginning to end. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to watch from beginning to end because I've been a little bit tuned out. Whenever I go onto the website, I really look at the North American Championship run because I'm waiting to see what goes down with that, like what they did this week. But I'm waiting for that ladder match, you know, and I want Wesley to win it. And then we got Braun Breaker in a triple threat. Braun Breaker's probably going to win that still. We got Mandy Rose and Alba Fire. Please give the title to Alba Fire. That's what I've been waiting, you know, just please. And then
Ilya Dragunov can win an NXT championship.
He can't?
He can. He can.
He's not going to.
You still want Braun to have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, that's what I'm saying. With that being said, Wesley is a cornerstone. That'll make you watch.
I'm still waiting for Braun and Carmelo.
That will make you watch.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that as you're giving it time, they're not wasting it. Is my point.
Got it. I'm just
saying. What I'm saying? Like they're
rebuilding. I'm giving it time. That's all I'm saying.
As you give them time, they're not necessarily wasting it. You know,
Creed brothers, love them. Pretty Deadly, love them. So I'm staying tuned, and I want Gallus to be there too. I'm looking for Gallus to win that championship back. Or
you want Gallus to win the tag team titles?
I like them. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. I like them, man. I like them. What else we got? Bianca. You brought Bianca a second ago.
Yeah.
200 days. Bianca, women's champion, longest reigning black champion in WWE history. It's crazy, but it's well deserved, man. We've seen Bianca come. She's gonna start from day one. We just want to give her flowers and say, keep doing your thing, boo. I think that you are inspiration to men and women across the globe and what you're doing in WWE. I know she got a lot of haters. People are like, "Oh man," but they don't. Doesn't matter what the haters think because Bianca is a bona fide star. I think she's elevated the product in the women's division and took where the Four Horsemen left off. Now she's taking it even further. I always say Bianca's one of the best wrestlers in the world today. And I'm not saying that as a hyperbole statement. I think she really is one of the best wrestlers in the world today. There's certain things that she does in that ring that people can't do.
Nobody can do.
That nobody can do. Like, she's on the mic. She's super authentic.
Bobby can motherfucking pick two niggas up, but he can't do no 450. You know
Exactly.
AJ Styles can do a 450, but he can't pick two niggas up.
I'm waiting for Bobby to catch Brock in a suplex position, walk up the stairs with him up there and toss him in the ring. No, or press him and walk up the stairs with him in his hand. No, I don't see that happening, man. Listen, Bianca has put on match after match with quality competitor after quality competitor.
Hold on. No, she's done what Sheamus said. Banger after banger after banger. Nigga.
So this is fitting. I think she should go 365, man. I think that I think she should be going to WrestleMania with the championship, with a Charlotte defending, challenging, to get that. What reign is she up to? Like 17, 16, 15? I don't know. But Charlotte is the next big threat to her, So we'll see what goes down. Of course, I would love to see a Naomi versus Bianca if she comes back. Her and Sasha been killing it on the runway.
One time down. I need a Naomi.
Bianca.
I need a neck off between them, my nigga. I need a neck off. I need them.
That can mean two different things. So they got husbands.
Respectfully. I'm gonna put that up.
Chill. All right, but no, respectfully, we just want to just give her roses today because it's warranted. And keep doing your thing. I love it, and I can't wait to see what goes on next. I can't wait for War Games. I can't see what she does in there.
Exactly. One of the things that we do have to tap into before we get out of here is that tomorrow is Friday. Okay, and it is the 1 week anniversary of the return of Bray Wyatt's promo, and so I know that you wanted to tap into. So go ahead, get your rocks off, my nigga, about Bray Wyatt's promo.
It was good, man. I think that we got to see Bray be authentically himself for a moment. Although some people are saying that it's all a work, maybe it is, but I do think on some level this was Wyndham. Like, I think that on some level Wyndham has been through a lot over the past year plus, and who people want to compare returns, Cody, CM Punk. Listen, for me, I'm just happy to see my guy there. He's my favorite wrestler. Bray, thank you for coming back. Thank you for putting on the artistic productions you've done in the past. He said that maybe he didn't mean a lot, if everything he did didn't matter. I'm not sure if all this is the work, but some of that is the brilliance of Bray, because we don't know. We see the promo. He had tears in his eyes, and it was just him. And I genuinely believe on some level that was really just Wyndham talking. So, and the reason why people, dispute that is because obviously at the end of it, we get the mask of this like demon saying that if what did he say?
I didn't know. I have no idea what.
I couldn't hear what he said, but he's like, "You don't know me, but you'll figure it out," or something like, "You don't know what."
Man, listen, that nigga. All I know is that nigga creepy as fuck.
But I'm curious to see where it goes because, man, I'm just happy because we got Roman and Bray on the same roster. Listen, SmackDown right now is my favorite show because you got Sammy, you got the Bloodline, you got Bray, you got Walter, Sheamus, Banger. It's all good. It's all up on SmackDown. So right now, that's my favorite show. I'm tuning in this week, and I can watch the whole show straight from front to back. And the matches have been great. Even last week, what was that match? There was some match I watched, Sammy and Ricochet. Great match, So like they've been doing great work over there, even though that they're building storylines slowly in WWE right now because they have so many different things going on. obviously Crown Jewels on November 5th. So we got to go through all of October, just kind of stretching out filler episodes. But it's been entertaining. As long as it's entertaining, I'm tuned in. So Sammy, thank you. Thank you, Bray. Thank you, Roman, Bloodline, Sheamus, Walter. I'm fucking with it. Yo, I can't wait.
Oh man. One thing we want to cover for next week: FTR, Swerve My Glory, #1 contendership, AEW.
Oh yeah, the Acclaimed.
Yeah, our Book in Black, the Acclaimed. Before we get out of here, that led us to what I'm saying, right? The Acclaimed won the championship over Swerve My Glory during the time where FTR was #1. Never really got their championship match. Never got their one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? Never got the fair ones with niggas. So they pretty much skipped out on what the Acclaimed got. You know what I'm saying? The Acclaimed snuck up there, got their win, big time win. And I think right now, how do you book the Acclaim going forward? I think
so. So when it comes to the Acclaim, they say we all love the Acclaim. Then I do like the Acclaim. I like them. They're cool. But Daddy Ass, is he gonna stick with these guys? That's what I care about. Is he gonna go back to the Ass Boys, or you want them separate? I think that FTR could easily become AEW Tag Team Champion soon. However, the Acclaim are very popular right now, and they're selling a lot of merchandise. So business, creative, what are you thinking? Because creative-wise, you guys set up a ranking system that you're not using. Business-wise, it's Acclaim is selling a lot of merchandise. #1 T-shirt, says me Daddy Ass. Listen, the ladies love it. The fans like it. Keep running with. I think run with it. Keep them as champion for now. Let them get over. Let them keep their overness and, see where it goes. But eventually, I think that Daddy Ass should turn on them to go with his homeboys, his sons, and build them up. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, because the Daddy Ass thing is working. So I don't. And then
Daddy
FTR, do you give the title to FTR? No, because they're working right now.
No, Daddy Ass needs to go back to the Ass Boys first and foremost. I have no idea what the fuck them young niggas do. Because listen,
only if they win the championship. If he costs the Acclaim the championship to his sons, that's
sense. What I'm saying. Okay, so this is my point. This is my point here. This is how I booked them. FTR Swerve My Glory has the #1 contenders match to be for the #1 contender for the tag team titles. Swerve and Keith Lee, that's when we break off. That's when we finally have that. Thank you for coming. You know what I'm saying? FTR match against the Acclaim happened. The Ass Boys interfere, right? AEW does what they love to do. Triple threat. Give us a triple threat tag match. I don't mind that. Give me a triple threat match with the Acclaim, the Ass Boys, FTR. Give me Daddy Ass helping the Ass Boys win the tag team titles. And now the Acclaim's over, FTR is over, Ass Boys is over, and then now we can go ahead and get this whole thing situated one more time again. And I think that's how we do that. I think you think FTR can be in the tag team, and now once FTR beat the shit out of, because they've been having a little feud with them, because that ain't really interesting, but I see it. They having a little, so now when FTR has a reason to go after them niggas and beat their ass, then finally FTR can hold AEW tag team titles, Ring of Honor tag team titles, and AAA tag team titles at the same time.
How long is that gonna take? How long? They're gonna hold those other titles for like another 3 months?
I think I'm not. I mean, listen, I don't care how long they hold those other titles. I just feel like they need to defend them. So if the FTR is really putting niggas over and really doing what they need to do, tell Tony to pay some Mexican flights up and ship some niggas up to motherfucking Florida and wrestle some boys in some masks, okay, and put the AAA tag team titles up, and then call up motherfucking niggas from ROH who fuck over there. I don't know who over there. You know what I'm saying? And wrestle some tag team, because you do not need to wrestle the Briscoes again. You know what I'm saying? And put another ROH tag team nigga on the map. Christopher, can you stop playing the guitar?
Shane Taylor, bring him in. Shit.
Nigga,
I don't know,
many
man.
promotions Shane Taylor gonna be in, nigga?
Somebody gotta pick him up.
This nigga got Shane Taylor as like a tip employee, nigga, just floating. just floating, nigga.
He gotta go somewhere.
You need it in Orlando. Hey man, you need it in Jacksonville.
I'm just saying ROH had tag team with him. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna end the show, and I don't know, man.
I don't know what ROH tag team can face him other than Shane Taylor Promotions. That's a nigga comeback, man. I'm waiting for the day. Now we finally got Bray. Now I'm like, all right, let's get Shane Taylor Promotions back in this bitch. Like, you know, so like Bray's back. I've been, ringing the bell for him. He's back now. Sign Shane Taylor. Sign Shane Taylor. That's my vote.
Thank God I didn't smoke
Somebody.
on it, so I can post kids.
Christian.
That was
You're on your own. Listen, Christian. We love you.
Oh man. We got anything else to tackle on the show, brother?
Nah. I think that's it. Just keep posted to our social medias. Our media socialists will be revamping the website, eiwshop.com. Stay tuned for that. Check us out on RW Podcast 1 on Twitter, Reasonable Wrestling on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe, please, to this content. If you're feeling your boys, we do got a Patreon. Check it out, Reasonable Wrestling patreon.com/Reasonable Wrestling. And as always, all is love. Everything is wrestling. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.